Hello there, and welcome back to the Disc Connected. I am here with Dan Kinem, who is the founder and current person running VHS Hit Fest. Now, I've had like 9 people ask already when I said that I was going to be doing this. Is it VHS Hit Fest? Is it VH Shit Fest? What is the actual title here?
It was always VH Shit Fest, but for the Vinegar Syndrome thing, they wanted to avoid swearing. And also, it was kind of like a play on that because these are like the hits, kind of. These are like the
Right.
best things we discovered throughout the years. So they just capitalized the H. And so now it's VHS Hit Fest.
I like it. I think that
Yeah.
that is a really fun, obvious way to play on that word. So you guys fairly recently jumped in as a partner label. First title that came out is the Corn Shucker, and obviously with a slipcover like this, that is bringing to mind all kinds of different types of imagery. It seemed to get a lot of people excited, and I had a chance to watch this. Would you mind sharing with everybody the history behind the Corn Shucker?
My history or the history of the movie?
Yes.
Well, my history, I guess maybe 6 years ago, I found out. Actually, it might have been longer than that. Now it could have been 8 years ago. I heard about it and just saw the original VHS cover. I think somebody posted it online, and I tried to track it down for years. Finally found it, watched it, and loved it. And then I found the director on Facebook, and we just started talking. And I actually licensed the movie like 5 years ago. This was
Wow.
before any Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Um, and he was always cool. He was like, yeah, at the time I was going to do a DVD and a VHS because we had never done Blu-ray or anything.
Right.
So I was just going to do, a cool little limited thing. And then I went and did the special features with him. I drove to his house and interviewed him and recorded the commentary. And then the Vinegar Syndrome deal came up in the time after that, where I was kind of like going a little slow because I wanted to find somewhere to do a slipcover and someone to do the
Nice.
Blu-rays because I was like moving in that direction. And so it ended up working out perfectly. Vinegar Syndrome, wanted to do the partner thing. So that saved
Sweet.
me that. They do the best slipcovers, best everything. So I didn't even have to, worry about any of that stuff.
Right. Awesome. So the film, the history of the film. How do you know a little bit of the story behind it? Because it's a little abstract and odd.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind telling people what it's about, because I'd love to hear it in your words.
Ugh. Well, it's kind of, I guess I've described it as a little Eraserhead-ish. It's definitely
Yeah.
Lynch influenced. I know the director, he was in school at the time that he made it, and it was shot in kind of the middle of nowhere in Indiana with a lot of his friends and family. Um, but the one like good thing that he decided to do, he raised money and hired a cinematographer that had shot a bunch of movies before. That's kind of why it has a unique and more professional look than a lot of
Definitely.
super low budget stuff. I think the budget was 6,000. His brother plays the Corn Shucker.
Nice.
And it's basically a weird, he said it, okay, yeah, now I remember. He had a crazy like nightmare that influenced the movie, and he painted like a picture. I think you can see it on the Blu-ray in the special features, but he painted like a picture, and it's basically about this weird mythical creature. Oh, and he's obsessed with Bigfoot too. The director is in real life. He's obsessed with different mythical creatures and like folklore and different, weird tales and stuff. So
Because of course.
that influence too. And it's about a weird guy that lives in the middle of nowhere, and a bunch of unique kind of Twin Peaksy odd town folk visit him and start giving him a hard time and don't understand what he's doing there. And it's kind of goes that, I don't want to give too much away, but it's definitely an odd, unique experience of a movie. So if you haven't seen it, I recommend it to everyone listening.
Yeah, me too. It is an odd one. It is one that you pretty much got to see to believe,
Hmm.
with some of the shots on this, and it does have this, like you said, this odd, almost like dreamlike way of capturing
Hmm.
some of these shots, and it's not off-putting in the way that it's shot, and it's not shot on video. It was shot on 16, right?
Hmm.
So
Yep.
it looks a lot better than some of those things. However, I think you said this was sourced from a VHS copy, right?
Yes, yeah, the film, I have no clue what happened to it. He said it's long gone, but like he doesn't even really know exactly what happened. So, yeah, just the copy that I was able to find is what it was sourced from, and I don't
Wow.
really know. I think maybe I've seen like two other copies on VHS. I know he did a really, really limited run originally, so it's definitely was hard to find and hard to see until now.
Interesting. So, wow. VH Shitfest. You've been doing this for a long time before you partnered up with Vinegar Syndrome. Can you go over sort of the history of where that came from?
Yeah, I think back in 2010, um, I
Wow.
was starting to realize that there was a lot of movies that weren't on DVD and were super obscure. And in the town that I went to college in, a video store opened up there, and it was a local chain kind of in the area, but they decided to bring all their VHS from all their individual stores and put them in this location. So the whole store was only VHS. So
Was
that
this in
really,
2010?
yeah, this was in 2010. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So it was, I would go there seriously. Me and my friend Tim would go there every day and just pick out movies. We'd look at all the covers and do a bunch of research. We found so many weird and obscure things. And we decided, at the time, I didn't know really anyone else was that hardcore into collecting tapes. I hadn't discovered any of the Facebook groups or any of
Right.
the Instagrams or anything. So we just started a Tumblr where we would review movies, but only movies on VHS. And we
Nice.
VH Hit Fest. It started because Birds 2 was I said something like I think I did an article about it in a zine. This was before we started the Tumblr, and I said something like shit fest, movie shit fest. I forget exactly what, but then we just when we decided to do the Tumblr, we just combined it since we were only reviewing movies on VHS, so we just put the two together.
Wow.
And soon, I think by 2011, by the end of it, we were already doing releases, limited VHS, and we had already started working on the documentary that I made, Adjust Your Tracking. So it kind of took off early on. I got so hardcore into VHS super quickly.
That is awesome. Nowadays, is it just you running it, or do you have a team or anything like that?
Yeah, it's my friend Tim who I started it with. He doesn't do it anymore. He's kind of burned out on VHS.
Right.
He doesn't want to watch any of that crap anymore, basically. And so another person that I met in college, I call him Dabby Doo, but his real name is Levi. He was a film major, and I was a journalism major. So we kind of teamed up to do the
Yeah.
documentary together because we were able to use the film equipment, and we've just been working together ever since. He handles like all the technical stuff. I don't know how to do like any editing or anything. I just
Yeah.
sit behind him and say like my opinions, and he is able to, edit all the special features and shoot all that stuff. So he's
Nice.
not too, he likes the movies and is into it, but he doesn't collect tapes. He's more, you know, about like shooting the stuff.
Yeah. Either way,
So,
I mean, that's a really cool one-two punch of a film major
mhm.
and a journalism major. It feels like it would probably fill a lot of the needs that you would have to start a label and really get the word out there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it worked out perfectly. It's a great relationship, and literally anything I say, any like crazy idea, he somehow manages to figure out how to do it. So it works out, and it's fun to be able to travel with a friend to do all the
Yeah.
interviews and stuff like that. We've been doing trips for a decade now, so I've always, had a good time hanging out with him and talking to some interesting people about the movies they made.
I can't imagine with some of these.
Hmm.
The blurb that you guys are using on the Vinegar Syndrome website from when they announced the label, it says that VHS Hit Fest has been uncovering and releasing movies on video for over a decade across DVD and VHS, and is now moving into Blu-ray, with the same goal to showcase the most unique, crazy, and obscure movies that they've discovered through years of collecting VHS, allowing even more people to actually be able to experience these nearly lost gems in the best versions possible. Obviously, that's a very like copywriting way to say what's going on behind the scenes, but um, with these, you're not just looking for films that were shot on video. It sounds like, since this is
Hmm.
shot on 16. So, do you have like a one sentence, real big promo shot for what you're looking for in a title for these?
Well, I guess it's kind of the best of the most obscure
Nice.
movies. I want to, a lot of the stuff that we're going to release and that we're working on were super limited. I mean, a lot of them don't have IMDb pages, have no reviews
Wow.
online. And it's kind of just over the years, I've seen hundreds and hundreds of terrible, terrible movies that like I haven't enjoyed, but these are going to be the ones that I've really liked, and I feel like more people need to see them. So yeah, it's kind of uncovering as many lost gems as I can and bringing them to a new audience.
It's an interesting way to put it, and I agree and wholeheartedly defend divine missions like this, because I completely think that something like this is so necessary to archive all of the art that is out there. For
Mhm.
the people that are maybe just starting to dabble in more of these obscure gems, or some people even call them like trashster pieces. uh
Mhm.
what do you argue is the merit behind films like these? Because a lot of people say they're obscure for a reason. They're shit, why should we watch them?
Yeah, I feel like me personally, just loving movies, I want to see as many as possible.
Same.
And growing up, um, me and my friends would get together and try and make movies. And
Yep.
I feel like if you did even a tiny bit of that growing up, then you have to appreciate these because these are oftentimes movies that a bunch of friends got together to make, but they actually finished them, which is
Right.
very hard to do. And in some cases, got them released or got them in video stores. So, I mean, that just alone is interesting. I like seeing that creativity when people have no money and maybe no technical skill at all, but they were able
Right.
to, bring a story that they wanted to life. Also, um, even when I buy, some of the other Blu-ray companies that are releasing stuff, when I buy one of their releases, I might not love the movies, but the special feature aspect of it, I
Yep.
love hearing about the stories behind making these. Sometimes those are better than the actual things, and
Oh yeah.
those stories deserve to be told and are always entertaining and interesting. Just hearing how the stuff got done and how difficult it was, or the crazy things that were involved. So I feel like I love this kind of thing. And when I hear about a movie, I feel like I get a certain feeling when I track down a movie that has no mention anywhere online or is just so obscure. I'm like holding something that maybe no one's seen in
Right.
decades and barely anyone's seen. It's like just a great feeling as a film fan to be able to experience something new that, you know, not many people have before. So that's kind of what we're doing with the label. And also when I buy stuff, that's kind of what I'm like looking for.
Yeah. It's like buried treasure, literally. It's
Yeah,
something
buried
that
treasure, exactly. And
people will literally never see, and unless you bring it to the light.
that's the same reason I feel like a lot of people thrift or, go out and look for stuff. It's like just that great feeling of discovering something or having an amazing find or,
Right.
whatever. You can't beat that feeling.
Absolutely, and I can't imagine, the idea of, the guy that directed this. I assume he probably didn't do a whole lot other than this, right?
No, he has a newer movie that people should check out. It's a Bigfoot movie called Myth. Um, but I swear, I think he's only done two movies. He might have done a
Wow.
couple random things here and there, but I think only two movies: Corn Shucker, and then this one from a few years ago called Myth. So check that out.
Nothing about that is surprising at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it's not as true about Corn Shucker, but I'm imagining a lot of these are probably going to be from single film directors, and
Hmm.
I can't imagine being that person that is at home and Dan is suddenly calling on their home line and says, "Hey, I just discovered this in a video store. I'm wanting to share it with 3,000 people. How do you feel about that?" And just the joy that some of these people must get from this, it's got to be fulfilling to see like some of their work go out to so many people.
Oh yeah, that's like the main reason I wanted to do this. That's the best feeling, especially like doing the interviews with people. It's like the most fun. I can just tell that they're having a great time being able to like talk about this, and that they're so surprised that they had maybe forgotten about it or didn't think anyone cares. So it's like nice to be able to give them such like a nice package. Vinegar Syndrome always does the nicest, packaging, and to be able to do that for these directors, like you said, that have only done maybe one thing 30 years ago.
Right.
It's and like a lot of, I say probably none of the movies that we're putting out, the directors made no money on any of them. Like, so it's like they just lost money to make a movie and then quit. Like,
Right.
so it's a great feeling. I love interviewing, especially like actors from the movie that like aren't, in anything else. Those are especially fun because it's like those people have maybe never even been interviewed or like asked
Right.
any questions about doing this. So it's a great experience to get to talk to all these people, and so fun.
I can't imagine some people in a movie like this. They're like, "Yeah, after my shift at the hardware store on Thursday, we can talk about it." It's
Yeah, exactly.
fantastic just to give them, some more of those 15 minutes and get some people to
Hmm.
hear their story. That's great.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
Corn Shucker is interesting and unique, but I'm curious, what has the response been like in your mind?
Oh, the response has been amazing. I was curious what the response would be because it's a little bit different than maybe what we're going to be releasing. It's I would say maybe more leaning towards like art house and less
Right.
towards like the trashier like shot on video style. But the response has been amazing. I think it's been announced now. Corn Shucker is actually going to play in Chicago at the Music Box. It's going to be the first theatrical screening of it. I think Halloween weekend. So that's going to be insane to. That's something you would never expect. The guy bought it and watched it and just loved it. The guy that's running that series. So that's an awesome thing. And the reviews have all been really positive and people have seemed to like it. So I'm happy about it.
That's great. It is
Hmm.
certainly a unique film, like I said, but it is leading into a whole line of stuff coming. And today, being October 1st, we get the next announcement. Can you share with everybody what this title is and the story behind that one?
Yeah, this movie is Blood Hunter. And it's another movie that was actually shot on 16 millimeter, but it was edited on VHS. And it was shot in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky, and is unlike anything I've seen before. I think it's a super unique vampire movie. It was written by the director's dad, who was a Vietnam vet, and he went to film school. They were offering veterans a way to like something to do when they came back from the war, basically. And so he was able to go to film school, and apparently he actually wrote Piranha. I don't want to spoil everything, a lot of the great stories in the special features, so everyone needs to watch those. But that's a hilarious, great story. But yeah, apparently he wrote Piranha first and didn't get any credit. Um, but then he wrote the movie Blood Hunter, and a lot of crazy things went down with that. But it's kind of a good vampire that's taking a bite out of crime is the tagline.
Nice.
And the movie is amazing. I feel like get a bunch of friends together, some beer if you drink, and pizza, and it's the perfect like movie night type of thing. There's like 100 one-liners in it. Every single thing the vampire says is hilarious and amazing. Some great, super creative special effects.
Nice.
And the other actor in it who is just a legend. There's so much good like behind the scenes stories about him that everyone needs to watch. He plays the sheriff in it, and he is the only other movie he was in was Lunch Meat, and he's the guy on the cover of Lunch Meat for people who are into
Wow.
that. So the movie's, I'm super excited about it. I feel like it's a good companion piece with Corn Shucker because it kind of shows the two different sides, and it's also nice to be able to release two things first that aren't shot on video, because I feel like
Right.
a lot of people there's a certain type of person that bitches kind
Oh
of
yeah.
about the shot on video, which I understand kind of, but this is nice to be like, yeah, actually these aren't technically shot on video, so you can't complain too much. So I'm excited about it.
That's good. That sounds incredibly captivating. I can't wait to get that one in. With wow, that was a weird way to say that. With Corn Shucker, it seems like you guys sold out very quickly of the slipcover
Mm-hmm.
one. Was that surprising to you?
Oh yeah, that was very surprising. It sold out during pre-order. I know there was a bunch of people that like didn't even get a chance to get it, that were like saying they needed more time.
Right.
But yeah, I was super happy about that. I feel like it was kind of a combo of, I guess, it being our first release, maybe that pushed it to sell out that quickly, but
Yeah.
also there being no clips online and no real reviews or anything. I feel like that got people super interested to need
Oh
to
yeah.
know what this movie was. So I was blown away and super appreciative of everyone who grabbed a copy. I think there's still maybe some standard releases left if you didn't get
Yeah.
a copy though.
Yeah, and with the standard, you still get everything, just no
Hmm.
slipcover, and it's a wonderful release. Highly recommend it. With these two that are coming out, you got Corn Shucker and Blood Hunter. Is there any specific genre that you think you're going to be hitting heavily as you put these films out?
I mean, I guess I would say horror, but the two of the ones that I'm most excited to do that are coming in the future aren't horror. I
Hmm.
think maybe the one that will be our most popular title, the one that like people will probably love the most, is coming uh fifth. It'll be our fifth release, and that's not horror. That's a kung
Nice.
fu movie. I can say it's kung fu.
Oh,
Um,
that's really cool.
yeah, that's gonna be. I'm so excited about that. We shot the special features, and oh my god, so much. It's insane. I cannot wait for people. I want to do like a documentary, like just on the guy that made it, like a separate thing. Like his life is so insane, and there's
Nice.
so much. Like I definitely can't wait for people to get that.
So you've got at least 5 releases planned. Do you have like a full slate scheduled and some long winding future plans so people can count on a lot more coming?
Yeah, we have 13 basically not done, but like we've shot special features
Right.
and already started working
In the
on
process.
13. Yeah, we're in the process of 13 different things so far, but
Nice.
there's so much more. Like I had to stop like licensing stuff because I didn't want to like be like your thing's not coming out for another like 3 years. Like I didn't
Right.
want to tell people that they have to wait so long. So I'm taking a break on licensing things until maybe toward the end of next year, and then I'll
Wow.
get back into it. But yeah, we got a lot planned and
That's
a lot of
good.
fun stuff. Yeah, I'm excited.
That is awesome to have that sort of a lead in. And with a label that's been around for that many years, you've obviously got a lot of experience doing the licensing and special feature side of things. And now, this whole brand new Vinegar Syndrome partnership. Can you share how
Mhm.
that came about for you?
Yeah. One of my friends is Earl Kess, who does a
Oh,
lot of the
nice.
artwork for Vinegar
Yeah.
Syndrome. And randomly one day, like I was telling him that I had some stuff licensed because Corn Shucker, Blood Hunter, and two or three other things were already licensed before this deal ever came about. And he was like, "Yeah, you should talk to Justin LaLiberty, who runs
Yeah.
all the partner labels." He was like, "Yeah, you should talk to him." Also, I had heard word that maybe somebody at Vinegar Syndrome was like looking for the rights to Corn Shucker too. I think maybe that Brad Henderson guy,
That sounds
he
like a
was
Brad title.
yeah, he was like looking for it too. So I had gotten word of that and already had the rights to that. Earl suggested me talking to Justin, so it all kind of worked out perfectly. He was like, "Yeah, we're interested in like partnering up," and he already knew of like adjust your tracking and some of the other things that we had done, so he was into it, and it was perfect for us because they handle all the stuff that I didn't know how to do slash
Right.
don't like to do, like the shipping aspect and the storing aspect, and they know how to print the slipcovers and get everything printed and what companies to use and
Right.
who's good and all that. So that's perfect. I like to just license the movies and get the special features. Like that's the stuff that I like to worry about.
Deliver a digital file and call it a day.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the fun stuff that they can handle the annoying things.
You don't like storing and shipping? It looks like you got plenty of free space behind you.
Oh yeah, no. Like I've shipped and shipped so much stuff all the time, so I don't mind it, but I am completely out of space basically, so it's nice to just have them handle it.
Well, I am out of space as a collector, and I will
Mhm.
continue to buy what you keep putting out. But it appears from behind and your story about how this started, you've been a collector for a long time, it sounds like. You mind telling what
Mhm.
got you into film originally?
I think I guess I would say my dad, he always had a VHS collection of different stuff. I remember every night I would try and watch like a new movie on VHS growing up as a little kid. And until I got to like the R-rated stuff, then I would have to like start trying to convince my parents
Right.
which ones they would let me watch. Like Puppet Master, I remember convincing them. They were like, "Okay, you can finally watch that." I swear, like Breakdown maybe was one. I barely even remember this, like the stuff, but I just remember as a kid going through everything, and we lived a block away from two video stores. There was actually
Wow.
two video stores that were in the same parking lot, um, in the '90s, and I would go there all the time and rent movies. But
Nice.
then when DVD came, my dad's like big into technology. He used to be like a computer programmer and was always getting different things. So when DVD players came out, he bought that immediately and we sold all of our VHS that we had.
Oh, no.
Um, so I got into collecting DVDs and would go to different local DVD stores and stuff. And then, like I said, in 2009 and 2010 is when I was like, okay, I'm going to get back into VHS. I also was like kind of against Blu-ray too. I did not want to like move to a new format at all when like Blu-ray first started happening.
I get that.
But then obviously once I did, there's no turning back now. So now obviously I have DVDs, VHS, Blu-rays, Laserdisc. Like it just the floodgates opened up. I feel like any fan of movies is going to have something on
Right.
pretty much every format. So it's
How do you feel about the move to 4K then?
I like 4K. I
Nice.
guess if it's available in 4K, like I'm probably won't go out of my way to like
Right.
replace stuff, but if it's released in 4K and Blu-ray, I'll go with the 4K version. Only some very select titles will if I have it on DVD, then obviously I'll replace it and get it in 4K. But if I have like a nice Blu-ray of it already, I might not upgrade
It gets
yet.
difficult.
Yeah, I can't do every single thing but I
I
do
get
love
that.
Blu-rays. I love 4K.
Something that I have been asking people in the last handful of interviews, what would you say, and I understand this is probably going to take a second to think about it. What would you say is like a Dan movie mixtape? Something that if you wanted to give somebody 5 films that defines who you are as a person, that you have always held close to you. Which ones are you reaching for first?
I would say, Fanny and Alexander. That's my favorite movie ever. Then I would say Project X, the Matthew Broderick movie, the party movie.
Yeah.
I worship that movie. Then I would go Valerie and Her Week of Wonders. I love that. Maybe what I guess I would have to put in Almost Famous. I love Almost Famous.
Great movie.
It's so good. And I would, I guess, put the untitled version of it. That just came out at the perfect time for me. And I remember watching it, and I just loved that movie so much and loved Cameron Crowe. Where would I go with the last one? This is tough. I really love Under the Blossoming Cherry Trees. It does. I don't even. Does it have or Duel to the Death? Okay, I gotta pick something like Asian. Duel to the Death or Under the Blossoming Cherry Trees. And I know Cherry Trees is on the Criterion channel, so anyone who hasn't seen it, watch that. But it holds a special place because in college, my friend had the place he lived in. He put a indoor like movie theater in there, and he got like movie theater seats. And just randomly, we were on the Criterion channel. This is when it was like new, and we popped that movie on, not knowing like anything about it, and it was like one of the best nights of like our life. Like we were blown away. It was so good, and I've watched it a bunch since then. Also, American Reunion. That's another, and House Party. See, now I have to put some in there that are like just fun that I can watch at any moment. That's why I like Project X, Dazed and Confused, House Party type of movies, and then Fanny and Alexander and like Valerie. Those are my, also fun.
The palate
also
cleansers.
Movies I enjoy, but yeah. So
I completely get it. That makes complete sense. With those types of movies, are there any other shared experiences other than this one night with the indoor movie theater that you look back on and say that was one of like the best movie watching experiences of my life, and what made it that way for you?
Well, there's definitely a lot. I remember watching Fanny and Alexander. I watched the TV cut, and it was just blew my mind. And I used to like live when I stayed at home in high school at my parents' house. I went upstairs immediately and was like, "You have to watch this," to my parents. Made them watch it. So that's like a 12-hour plus day of just watching that movie twice. But also, they showed the movie on my birthday 5 years ago, and I took my girlfriend to see it, so that holds a special place.
Wow.
So, like, the fact just randomly that no good movies are ever shown in like my area at all, and that they showed my favorite movie of all time on my actual birthday, and I was able to take my girlfriend who had never seen it, and just watch a movie in the theater for 6.5 hours or however long, like 6 hours. That's great. I love, like, there's so many other like experiences. Every time I watch Project X, and showing people Kids and Bully, those are growing up. Like those are two movies that I would like just pull out in grade school. Like anytime I went over to like a new person's house, we'd watch both of those, and that would like traumatize people. So those were good. I remember my good friend still to this day, his birthday, we were in 7th grade, and like me and him are into movies, but like our other friends at the time weren't, and we watched Sallow, and I had already seen Sallow. I do not know what we were thinking or showing that, but that traumatized that group of friends for sure. And it like with us probably too, because we were young.
I imagine future birthday parties, they didn't let you pick the entertainment very often.
No, and we stayed up all night too after that. I remember we like rode our bikes to McDonald's in the middle of the night, and then we had like a soccer game the next day. and like that we were all like just zoned out like zombies after. I'm sure everyone was just like replaying Sallow in their head, like, what the fuck? This is the weirdest like
Sallow,
night of my
McDonald's,
life.
and soccer. Yeah,
Yep, that was a great
that
time.
is the dream.
Yeah, there's
Wow.
just so many great. I love movies, so there's so many pop into my head. So many great like life moments involve different movies I love.
That's good. And the fact that those of us that are in this hobby or in even just appreciating cinema, the fact that you can ask anybody a question like that and immediately there is a smile on their face that is hard to get off for the next 4 or 5 minutes, because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many countless memories that you can relive that surround that. It's hard to like get people to shut up when you ask a question like that, because
Mm-hmm.
I just want to blabber on with you for the next 15 minutes about what you're sharing and my experiences that are, similar. And I really appreciate these labels like yours, because we are being able to share that type of joy with films that people have never seen. And
Mm-hmm.
we talked about the fulfillment of releasing a director's film, but I can't imagine for a film that there's, nothing on Letterboxd, and after you release something, there's suddenly, 350 reviews in a year and people are posting that they love it. That's got to be a great feeling, knowing that you're shaping the taste of, one of these generations of film fans.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I love being able to, you know, get people to see something, and especially like you mentioned before, when it's the only thing somebody ever did, like getting to see them enjoy it so much, just having people post reviews. I know the director of Corn Shucker was sharing everyone's like YouTube videos and reviews. He was just loving every minute of it. So, I mean, that's the best feeling for sure. And I get to share, the stuff I love. That's one of the, that's really why I got into doing this to begin with, is to be able to release stuff that I watched and really enjoyed and had a great time with. And it's these movies that I'm putting out are movies that I would, have movie nights with and show my friends and kind of be recommending it to a billion people. But since they're so hard to see, it's like, to
Right.
be able to make them a lot easier for people to track down. I mean, maybe once we get more releases out, we'll start putting stuff on streaming too, so it can be seen by even more people. And like I mentioned, that Corn Shucker theatrical screening, maybe
Yeah.
we'll do more theater experiences for different stuff. So it's definitely fun and amazing.
That's awesome. I can't believe a film like Corn Shucker has immediately, gone to somebody that's running a film festival, essentially, of programming for a weekend and able to play. That's such the power of films like this. All you have to do
Mm-hmm.
is have the right person see it, and suddenly they want to share it with the world. And you
Mm-hmm.
are one of those people. So thank you. I really hope people check them out. Obviously, Corn Shucker, the slipcover is gone. Don't sleep on Blood Hunter and what else is coming in the future. Get on it. Every single time it's announced, these are the kind of films that you want, because they're going to be rare for sure.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, December will be the next thing, so everyone look out for that. I'm super excited about that one too. So I'm excited
Awesome.
about all these. So
I
everyone definitely
can't
check them
wait for
out.
that kung fu film for sure.
That's gonna just blow people's mind. Like, it's the movie is so good, and like stories behind it are like 100 times better than the movie. So like, it's so good.
And that's the joy with a lot of these. The special features are
Mm-hmm.
alone worth the price of purchase for some of these.
Mm-hmm.
You get an inside look in, literally somebody's living room. They're sitting at the kitchen table and sharing, Vietnam War stories. You mentioned the guy went to
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam. Like, how you can't ever see that. It is the most intimate setting with the most intimate stories, and you are diving into somebody's life so that they can share something so personal with you. It's an incredible touch.
Yeah, we in for Blood Hunter, we interviewed the director, his dad, his mom, and his brother-in-law. Like, they all like worked on the movie. So like, it's amazing to just be able to have like a family talk about this event in their past and share all the stories. And for
Wow.
that release and for our one in December, there's 5 hours of special features on both of them. So
Wow.
we really packed those. And the one in December has a movie, like the movie that we're actually releasing is super, super rare and almost no one's seen it, but it has another movie on there that's feature length that like truly was like lost. Like I had never heard of it at all until we started doing the release.
Nice.
So that's gonna blow people away, that one.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that.
Fantastic. And to think all of this started literally from a Tumblr page because people were hanging out at a video store. Like that is what people are super inspired by. The fact that you were just a dude that liked movies and did a little bit of research, and now here you are 12 years later with the Passion Project and releasing Blu-rays for thousands of people to see. Like it doesn't get much more inspiring than that. It's something that people that are constantly buying these films that are filling up, you know, my shelves behind me and what's behind you, you can do something like this. You just literally have to start. I mean, you may have had a journalism degree, but I'm sure that without that, you could have got most of what you've got done in place.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, 1000%. I did. Definitely didn't need that. But yeah, this is a dream come true. This is like if I could have. I was already collecting Vinegar Syndrome stuff, so like if I could have picked a dream job, it would definitely be, you know, releasing some of my favorite stuff and getting to, you know, travel the country and do this. I mean, it's amazing, and like you said, I hope it inspires other people to try and track down interesting and unique different movies and maybe do this themselves. I mean, I'll buy the stuff. I'm always interested in seeing things I haven't seen before.
And I mean, obviously some people will argue if this is the golden age of physical media, but I mean, we literally have like 50 plus Blu-ray labels alone in the United States consistently releasing stuff every year. That's kind of hard to argue with, that you have opportunities everywhere.
Oh yeah, and the crazy thing is there's that many Blu-ray companies and there's still endless amounts of movies that need to be released and discovered and found. Like so many foreign movies. We're trying to like get some foreign stuff. Like there's movies from around the world, and I feel like most places that people live too, somebody made a movie in that town, maybe back in the 80s. Like there's so many little weird pockets that you can discover interesting things, local short films even that are interesting. I was thinking about maybe doing like a short film collection one day. So there's endless possibilities, and for anyone who loves movies, this is an amazing time to be a collector and be watching them.
If you were looking for feedback, everybody I've talked to would love a collection of shorts like that. That is the type of thing that more people have said that they feel like they get their money's worth out of something like that, because there's so many different aspects to crawl into, essentially. Because I mean, if you're putting it on a Blu-ray disc, you can fit hours and hours and hours of content on there.
Oh yeah, and there's so many. Just like looking at my shelves, like there's so many short films I've found that are amazing, and the director never did anything else. Like, so it'd be awesome to just do a nice collection, maybe like of, you know, 30 shorts throughout the years, that just stuff I've liked. And so, and also it'd be cool to get like little interviews for each one, or like a commentary on each one, just to again hear the stories, because I'm sure some of these shorts are have some crazy stories too. So
I can't imagine. Yeah, some of them, you know, it's a 9-hour short, but they filmed 5 hours of content overall, and it's in the middle of, you know, the Virginian backwoods, and God,
yeah, exactly.
that would be incredible to hear. Well, Dan, I think that's all I got. Thanks for your time. I sincerely hope that people are checking out VHS Hit Fest. This is an incredible first release, and I can't wait till this number 2 comes in and what's to come, because it sounds like you got a pretty healthy pipeline coming down.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm very excited. Thank you for doing this interview.
Absolutely, and I hope that you'll come back soon. Maybe when that Kung Fu film comes out, we can come back and highlight it.
Oh yeah, we need. I want to talk about it so bad. Vinegar Syndrome's got me like tight-lipped. I can't like say too much, but yeah, definitely when that comes out, I got some stories that we need to talk about.
We'll cozy up to Justin before then and see if we can get some looser lips.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
All right, see ya. Thank you.